Hello everyone! So today I'm doing my April wrap-up and my May TBR. This month I read 7 books. I didn't read as much as in March, but it was still a good reading month. Again, if you have been following me for a while, you know that I've been rereading a ton of books this year. Because of the Goodreads update, now I can reread every book that I want, and they still count towards my goal. The first book that I reread was Obsidio, and if you saw my last wrap-up, you know that this was the last book that I read in March, and immediately after I finished reading this book for the first time, I downloaded it on audiobook so I could reread it again, because I love this book so much. But I'm not going to say much else because I also uploaded a book talk for this book. So if you want to see more of my thoughts about it, you can check that video out. And next I read Young Elites. And this is a very popular book. I'm sure that you probably know what this is about. In this world, there was a huge plague and it almost killed every single children, but the children that survived end up having these superpowers, and the girl that we follow was one of them, a young elite. This book is really known because the main character isn't a good character, it's kind of a villain, not a hero, but I didn't enjoy this book. Like, I really wanted to like it because it had so much hype about it, but I was kind of in a mood when I started reading this book, but I never felt attached to any of the characters. I know that we are not supposed to like the main character because she's not likable, but I like some villains. You can like some villains, and I didn't feel any attachment to this character. I didn't like her, nor did I like anyone in this book. Like, I didn't like her group, I didn't like her sister. The magic world was not very original. It just felt like a story that I had read multiple times. The world was weird. I love Mary Lou's books, I love her writing style, but in this one, her writing style was kind of weird and I didn't enjoy it very much. Like, towards the end of the book, I was starting to like it a bit more. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite. Like, I have the entire series on my bookshelf, so I'll probably continue on with the series. But if I hadn't bought, like, the box for the series, I'm not sure if I would pick the rest of them up. And then I read Blue Lily Lily Blue. And if you have seen my popular books that I hate video, you know that The Raven Cycle is not my favorite series, because I didn't really understand the world, or nor did I feel attached to the characters. But surprisingly, I really did enjoy this book. For the first time, I kind of understood the world and the rules. I wasn't annoyed with the characters, I actually started liking them, and I love the plot of this book, and the writing style finally clicked with me, and I'm so happy that I read this book. Like, I just bought The Raven King, and I'm really excited to read that next book. So yeah, I actually gave this one 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm so happy about it. Then I read Children of Blood and Bone, and I did this buddy read with a friend of mine from Bookstagram, and we both loved this book so much. Seriously, you probably know what this is about because this book has such a hype right now. Like, it's described like this mixture between Black Panther but with magic, and it's so freaking awesome. Like, I don't want to say much else about the book because I like going into it not knowing much. But yeah, I was mind blown. This book was so different from the other YA books that I've been reading. I love the writing style, I love the characters, I love the world. It was so interesting. And oh my god, that ending, I'm so excited for the next book. This was one of the best books that I have ever read. It's now one of my all-time favorites. I even think that it might be better than Obsidio, and you know how much I love that book. And yeah, I'm so happy that I read this book. If you were not sure if you wanted to read this book because of all the hype and you are afraid of being disappointed, don't be, because this book is amazing, and if you haven't read it, you need to read it. Oh my god, I love this book so much. And then I read Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, and you know that I've been doing this read-along that is being hosted by Emma Books, and we are reading every single Shadowhunter book until the release of Queen of Air and Darkness that comes out in December. And this month we are to read Clockwork Angel, and I love the Infernal Devices. Like, it's one of my all-time favorite series. Will Arundel is the love of my life. I absolutely love him. And this was the third time that I read this book. I still love this book so much, and if you haven't read a Cassandra Clare book, I actually recommend you to start with the Infernal Devices, because technically the series is a little bit better, even though I actually like the Mortal Instruments more than I like the Infernal Devices. But yeah, this was fantastic, like always. And then I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, because I was having one of those days, and you know, when I'm feeling down, I always pick Harry Potter up. And this time I read the illustrated editions because it's absolutely beautiful. And again, like, have you seen my channel? I'm absolutely obsessed with Harry Potter. And you can also see in my last video that I posted, my weekly reading vlog, I read this book. And yeah, it's Harry Potter. It's perfection. And finally, I read City of Fallen Angels, again by Cassandra Clare, because of the read-along. And this is my least favorite Shadowhunter book. Obviously, I really enjoyed it, and it's still a 5 out of 5 stars. But if I'm comparing it with our other books, it is like weaker than the others. The plot is not so good, but we still have our amazing characters and this fantastic world. So even though this is not my favorite of the series, it was still a very enjoyable read. And those are all the books that I read this month. And for my May TBR, I plan on finishing A Court of Mist and Fury, and this is my second favorite book of all time. I love this book so much. This is my third time reading it. Like, I have started it, but I only read like 20 pages or so. So yeah, I just felt like picking this book up again because A Court of Frost and Starlight is coming out technically today, because you are seeing this on May 1st, because I'm posting this video on May 1st, and I really want to read this one, but I just felt like picking A Court of Mist and Fury again because I miss Rhys. Like Will is one of my faves. For the rest of the month, I just plan on picking obviously A Court of Frost and Starlight if it arrives in time, and then because I also bought Leo on the Offbeat and The Raven King, like depending on the day that they arrive, I also plan on reading those. And obviously because of the Shadowhunter read-along, I have to read Clockwork Prince, but those are basically the only books that I have planned to read in May, because you already know I don't really like to plan what I'm going to read. I like to read whatever I'm in the mood for. But yeah, I guess this completes this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. You can also check out my previous videos, and I hope that you can stick around with me, so please subscribe. Bye!